Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you around the world. I am Joe Soro, and you are watching the Joe Soro Experiment on YouTube. Still haven't been able to connect to X because I have to go all premium with them. Still setting up all my social media, so bear with me, guys. There's a reason why it's called the experiment because I am still experimenting. However, subject for this evening will be a dual subject of LA sports. As you can see, LA Sports Wednesday. We had a back-to-back sports Tuesday and Wednesday this week. The Lakers played yesterday as well as the Dodgers. Wasn't so good yesterday, but today was the exact opposite. You had the Lakers winning and the Dodgers winning, but in reverse, of course. The Dodgers ended up winning earlier today, and the Lakers won this evening. Both important games, but one is more important than the other, I'd say. Luka Doncic, for the first time this year, visited Dallas, and it was an emotional one, a real emotional one. A lot of tears. You could see it. And it looked like it was one of those deep, deep cries, too, that he held in there. He never wanted to leave. That man did not want to leave Dallas. He wanted to stay there. He really, really, really loved it there. You could see it. You could feel it. And boy, did he throw it back at him, though. He had a lot of praise from J.J. Redick, a lot of praise from the media about how emotional he was, yet still came out and killed. It takes a certain guy to do stuff like that. We had a guy not too long ago. Yep, that guy right there. It didn't matter what was going on off the court. He could be worried about his freedom. He could be worried about something going on with his family. It could be something deeper, crazier that we don't know about. But when it came down to that court, it switched off and it was kill mode on that court. And the Lakers, since February 1 of 2025, have actually received a similar player. Now, I'm not going to say that Doncic is going to be Kobe Bryant. I don't believe he will ever be as good as Kobe Bryant, but he has the Mamba mentality. And you saw that tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. And it was a team win, but it was Luka's night. And in looking at the performance, I would even say that it was a quiet 45. I actually thought he did come out like gangbusters at the beginning of the game, which he has a habit of doing. And it always looks like he's going to drop 60 or 70, right? And of course, he's dropped 70 before. He's dropped 73 last year against Atlanta. But he tends to cool off, let the kind of team kind of settle in. LeBron has his turn. Luka will get his turn back. Sometimes Austin Reeves will get his turn. Tonight, he started it, and he actually finished it because LeBron took care of the middle part. Kind of reminded me of the Kobe Shaq days where Shaq would start, and Shaq would actually. It wasn't in like quarter one and quarter four, and then 2 and 3. It was more Shaq would do the first, let's say, 2.5 quarters, and then Kobe would take care of the other quarter and a half at the end. It was a close game. It was a close game for a while. And then finally, when Dallas went on that run and got that 1-point lead, I think that was where Dallas finally ran out of gas. AD wasn't necessarily effective tonight. He had 14 points, just wasn't all there. It looked like he was injured. He had some good performances from Gafford. Lively was really non-existent. Max Christie didn't really do much. Just they didn't have enough firepower towards the end. You would have needed AD to play 40-20 AD to have a chance to win tonight, and he wasn't anywhere near that. And it looks like he's hurt. But Luka and LeBron kind of, when he decided to put his head down and get to the basket and was making those layups and get those and ones, that was it. And Luka came in and pretty much threw down the blade on the neck on a guillotine, and that was it. So the Lakers won, clinching a playoff berth. So this guarantees them a 6 seed at the worst. And they're right now a game up on the Clippers in the division. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out. If the Lakers win one more game, they essentially clinch the the I think they clinched the division and they clinched the third seed. I haven't been paying attention to I haven't paid attention of the divisions in so long. I've paid attention a little bit more this year, but it's crazy how the divisions and the division wins have become so insignificant. But the Lakers won tonight, 112-97. Uh, Winning a game after what happened last night was a good thing too. And they've been pretty well. They've been doing pretty well on the back end of back-to-backs all year. So I didn't feel too concerned tonight. I also thought Luka would do what he did, and they would be focused to win tonight because they do have a better team than Dallas, and they should win tonight. How they end up performing on Friday will be interesting. We don't know if Houston's going to be playing everyone because Houston's all but wrapped up the second seed. If Houston decides to play everyone, then the Lakers are going to have to focus on winning that game a little bit more. And then if they do win on Friday, then it's very likely that the Lakers and the top guys are probably going to take the last game off against Portland in Portland. But the interesting part will be how this plays out for seedings. I'm actually more interested in seeing how things play out with the seedings. The Golden State Warriors lost a heartbreaker tonight. Absolute busted at the end there, where their former cohort, Mr. Harrison. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on his first name. Hold on, let me get it. Let me get the Harrison Barnes. Jeez, I just totally blanked. I'm starting to sound like Empire Jeff here, running out of gas and not remembering anything. Harrison Barnes hits a fadeaway three to win the game, 114-111 in San Francisco. That was a devastating loss for Golden State because this now put them in the 7th seed, which means they may have to play in the play-in. If Memphis, the Clippers, and Denver win out. If all three win out, that means Golden State has to play in the play-in. They're going to have to win a game to guarantee themselves the 7th seed. Now, if they play the 7th seed, looking at how this could play out, maybe it might not be devastating for them because let's look at this for a second. Let's say they get the 7th seed, right? And the Lakers get the 3rd seed. They end up playing Dallas, right? They're the 7th seed. They play Dallas, and then they win that game. So now they've guaranteed themselves the 7th seed at that point. Then you have to wait on who the winner is of Sacramento and Minnesota. Minnesota and Dallas, however that works out, ends up being the 8th seed, right? So Golden State gets the 7th seed, and then they face Houston. Looking at it from that perspective, do they have a better shot at beating Houston, or do they have a better shot at getting the 6th and playing possibly the Lakers? I don't know. That's one I have to kind of think about a little bit. My initial instincts says it'd be easier to probably play Houston because I don't think Golden State would have a shot against the Lakers if they were playing the way they were playing tonight. Their defense was tight. LeBron was a monster, and Luka was dropping 40. I don't think Golden State's going to shoot the way they did the last game. Remember, guys, the Lakers beat Golden State 3 out of 4 times this year, and they've always been very good at beating Golden State in the playoffs, especially. And even when Golden State was in their heyday, the Lakers always seem to have a few wins in there to beat Golden State. That's kind of where I'm at. Serge, I know that they're playing well. I know the Clippers are on a run here, but I don't fear them. I actually don't fear them. And if you need to go back and look at how the Lakers played the Clippers when Kawhi was actually balling, I remember that last game that they beat them, and this was back-to-back games in LA in the crypt. He was playing hard. I mean, I was seeing him really, like, he played, I think it was 38 minutes. I'd have to look at the box score on this. But Kawhi was really, really putting in the minutes. Ty Lue had him playing, and they couldn't match. Harden was doing what Harden likes to do, and he wasn't doing too well either. I don't think it's a good matchup. I don't think the Clippers match up really well with a Luka run, LeBron run team. They would have had a shot if AD was still there. That's a fact. But with Luka, they don't have anybody that can contain him. And Luka has a really, really good habit of whooping the shit out of Clippers. Even when they were really good back in the day, he had a habit of whooping the Clippers. So now a downgraded Clippers, even though they're playing well, I don't see this matchup playing out pretty well. So I'm not scared of the Clippers. I'm still campaigning to see if they can maybe lose one more game and maybe get that 6 seed, because I don't want the Lakers to travel. I don't want them to go to Memphis. I don't. Not because I don't believe they're going to beat Memphis, but I think they're going to have to make 2 trips. That's the problem. I don't know if they're going to take them out in 5. It would be ideal. Then that would mean it was only 1 trip. But I don't know. Maybe John Morant starts to go nuts and they take him to 6, which means they're going to travel back and forth in the first round all the way to the East Coast. That I consider Memphis the East Coast. Tennessee might as well be the East Coast. And that's how I'm looking at this. These LeBron's an older guy, jet lag, and these guys, you saw a lot of emotion with Luka Doncic. So he's mentally fatigued this year. It's not so much probably physical. Mental can actually take out physical sometimes too. But these guys have they've been burning at both ends because of all the Luka's situation is a little different. His is more emotional. The fact that he went from buying a $15 million home to all of a sudden having to move to LA and all that emotion of that. And then LeBron, he's doing everything he can to reinvigorate that body so that he can play. Tonight, it looked like for the first time since he's been back with that groin injury that he was actually able to move. Knock on wood that he's able to do that. If they can clean this thing out on Friday, they don't have to play Portland. They win 50 games. They seal the 3rd seed. They're going to be able to take maybe a 5-6 day break, which would be huge for this team, especially LeBron. So I'm crossing my fingers that happens. And of course, if they're able to play the Clippers in the first round, they wouldn't have to deal with any traveling. And I believe that even if it took them 6, I think that's a good beginning. And I think it's less taxing going 6 against the Clippers to finish the first round versus going to Memphis and winning that in 6. I don't know. Maybe my mind will change in a couple of days, but that's where I'm at right now. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let me get to some of your guys' posts here. Sorry, I was kind of opening this up a little bit. I'm going to get to Dodger ball as well here in a minute, but I think it's important to talk about the Lakers because it's more pressing need right now because of the end of the season and how this whole seeding is going to be created. We're going to go into more detail on what's left in terms of all the other teams that are playing, and then kind of dictate and see how this will kind of likely play out with the competition that's left for those games. Search the Modfather. You like that Modfather? McDubular. I don't know what that is, Search. You're going to have to update me on that. Jay, Warriors are frauds. You're not off. You're not off on that one. I don't think you're off on that one. I think there was a false sense of security, if you will, when they beat the Lakers the other day, which tends to be the issue with what have you done for me lately. Every time the Golden State Warriors win, or every time Steph Curry has a big game, every time the Lakers win and they have a big game, everything is, is this team going to be dangerous? Is this team going to go to the finals? The second they lose, oh my God, they're old. Oh my God, I think they're finished. Oh my God, I think they're washed. You know who looked washed today? Anthony Davis. And I'll get to your comment because I read that on our chat here, and I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, he looked pretty washed today. You could tell he was injured, and he looked mentally washed as well. And we'll get into that a little bit more. My brother, let's get it, Joe. Yes, you Search. We are getting at it, and we always will get it at it. Sup, Jay? Look, that's not me. Great day for the Laker fans. Great day for the Laker fans. Yes. It's interesting. I'm looking at this emotional night for Luka, and I still for a while there was just in shock. I'd see Luka every now and then, and I'm like, is this really happening? Like, it still was there almost 2 months, more than 2 months, right? Today, I didn't feel that, which is weird, isn't it? Because you would have thought, hey, man, we have a Luka, and look at all this Dallas stuff. It wasn't. It wasn't. It really, I didn't feel, oh, Luka, man, I can't believe he's a Laker, which is weird. I thought today, and I wish I could post this on here because it cracked me up. But for those of you who've ever watched the movie Juice, this is an old movie from the 90s with Omar Epps and Tupac, right? And there's a scene where Tupac is behind the locker, and then Omar Epps closes the locker, and all of a sudden Tupac appears, right? This is after he did a bad deed the night before. I'm trying not to spoil the movie in case you guys haven't watched it. And basically, Bishop, which is the name of the character that Tupac is playing, is talking to Omar Epps' character, and he's like, "Dude, like, get over this. Like, it happened. Get over it. Let's do this. Let's get on, right?" And the title on the little 20-second blip of the movie is "When Laker Fans See Luka in L.A." Essentially, it's just say, like, get over it, dude. Come on. You're in LA now. It's over. Time to think about the Lakers. Time to cry for the Lakers, baby. Now, I didn't go that deep on this. Luka deserved his moment here. Luka deserved this moment because he got the rug pulled out of him from underneath him. I mean, straight up. I mean, he got so disrespected in so many ways. Unless there's something we don't know that we find out later, if there is nothing if there's nothing deeper in here on why this happened, other than maybe they didn't want to pay him or whatever, I mean, come on, man. This is as disrespectful as I've seen a star player get treated by anybody. This was bad. I've never heard anything negative about Luka other than this freaking. You know what's funny, Jeff? Sorry to sidebar here. You know what's funny, Jeff? My kid has a mannequin head. If I had known about an hour before that of the mannequin comment, I would have went and got it and put the hat on it. I'm going to do that. You guys just created a character on my show, so now I got to go get the mannequin. It's going to be a bodiless mannequin, but you guys started it. Now I don't sleep with this thing. But you've built a character, possibly. I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it on the show and see if this character that you guys have maybe created will be my Wilson. I have to figure out a name now for this thing. You guys jacked me up now. Now I got to bring it up. Now I got to do it. There's nothing else I can do now. You guys fucked it up. So, anyways, I felt like today was the closure. I think that's probably why. I think it was the closure that Dallas is dead and Luka now is truly a Laker. And man, did he put a stamp on this, dropping a quiet 45 with the help of King James. You guys don't ever hear me call him King James, right? But at some point, as much as we criticize, as much as we get emotionally negative, that son of a gun, and I kept it simple on our playback. It was almost like I was sort of joking, but I really wasn't. That son of a gun knows how to play basketball, man. Man, does he know how to play basketball. And I think that's probably why there's more angst towards him when things are done by him. You do expect, right? Like when let's say if you have I'm just using this as an example. I know some of you don't have kids, but let's say you have that child who you know can handle discipline and stern discipline, right? And they're very good at what they do. Right? They're good at listening. They're good at being disciplined. They're good at handling things when you need them to handle things, right? But then they do things. Then they come home one day and they ditch school, right? And they ditch school in a way where it's like, dude, it wasn't even like, it was like in the middle of the week. You know, I could understand if it was your senior year or whatever. Like, what are you doing ditching school? You're better than this. This was a bad idea. You ditched school knowing that you were going to get caught. No, I didn't know I was going to get caught. I go, how did you not know you were going to get caught? You are smarter than this. You are always proactive in things like this. But what you did was you were lazy. You were lazy. You left campus knowing that there was going to be something that's going to trigger that you've left for whatever reason. You had one of those Apple things in your thing, or the security at school doesn't let you out unless you get out of whatever fence lock that's there, right? It's the same thing with LeBron, with at least me. It's like, LeBron, you're LeBron James. You should be able to inbound the ball. Okay, if it happens once, maybe twice, okay, but can you stop doing it 7, 8 times? You know, so with all that angst, I'm just kind of proving a point on that for future stuff, right? If it was him not being able to jump as high, or he's getting beat by a younger player, like, I would not fault him for that. I'm more faulting him for things that should not be affected in terms of physicality or the mental part of the game. Inbounding the ball, to me, if you can't inbound the ball, then maybe there's a problem there that you're never going to solve. Maybe it's time for you to go, right? So LeBron tonight going to the basket, I know, is hard in the NBA. One of the hardest things in the NBA. I think it's probably the hardest thing. And then the next thing is getting space to shoot in the NBA. The NBA players make it look easy, but it's not easy. I used to hear this stuff with the Kobe thing, when Kobe would shoot 40 times in a game. They're like, oh, of course he scored 40 points. He shot the ball 40 times. I go, you know how hard it is to shoot the ball 40 times against NBA players in an NBA game? Have you ever played in the NBA? I haven't played in the NBA, and I know this. It's very difficult to get 40 shots off. Even Steve Nash never did that. And he could have gotten a shot off however he wanted, right? He was the wizard with the ball, right? But anyways, LeBron James tonight, once they lost that lead and he started going to the basket, you saw how a team can die mentally. And then when he got the team back and they got the lead back and extended that lead, then you brought in Luka, and then he put the nail in the coffin at that point. That is something right there that I want everyone to pay attention to, because that's what those guys do in even bigger games. And that's going to be very scary for the opponent. If this team plays defense the way they did tonight, and there aren't any major injuries the rest of the way in the playoffs, this is going to be a problem for the opposition. It's going to be a problem. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And props to LeBron James, especially LeBron James, for doing what he did tonight. I'm hoping that they can close this thing out for the third seed on Friday so he can get rest for about almost a week. And, everybody is going to be able to get rest. Rui's going to be able to rest his knee a little bit more. Luka can kind of marinate a little bit mentally, physically, and all the stuff that's gone on with him. So it will be a nice break for this team until the first game in the first round. And man, it's really nice to know that these guys aren't going to have to play 1 or 2 extra games with this play-in. The Lakers have been in the play-in long enough for me. I don't want to deal with the play-in, man. I don't want to deal with the play-in anymore. I never want to have to deal with the play-in anymore. And I think with having Luka on the team, I don't think we ever will, at least for the next 5 to 10 years. So props to that. Let me get back to some of your comments here. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Dallas made an epic mistake giving us Luka. Yeah, there's going to be documentaries on this. That's coming. That's coming in the next 10 to 15 years. Cross our fingers we're still around. Luka is in a better situation with the Lakers. Yes, that is true. That is true. Mainly because the Lakers organization is focused on winning championships. The new Dallas owners, I don't know necessarily if they do. When Mark Cuban was there, Maybe, yeah, you could say he was probably more focused on winning championships with that team. Although I have some other things to say about Mr. Mark Cuban, maybe at another time because I don't want to spoil the good night by talking about that dumbass. But there's a lot of theories I have on what happened with the whole ownership selling and just none of this makes sense. Like it started with that too, and there was some weird things going on with the Dallas organization, things that were brought to certain people's attention about things going on in the workplace. And I just kind of wonder because, and his excuse was, oh, well, this game is becoming a little bit more difficult to manage because we're not these, quadruple billionaires. This guy's worth what, 4 or 5 billion, and like I don't get it. I don't know. If he had said I'm getting burnt out running the organization and it's just time to go on to something else, I would have probably believed him. But the fact that he used the excuse of, well, I'm not rich enough to run this. Okay, dude, whatever. Christie isn't a shot creator. I said that Christie wasn't an NBA player early in the year. I've been wrong, and this has been one of the worst years I've had in terms of determining things, right? I'm still not 100% on him being an NBA player. Maybe it's 90% now versus 10%. He's a guard. He's a guard in a league that has guards that are ridiculously good. He's a guard that averages 9 points a game and shoots 40%, 42% from the field. Still not. He might be a rotational player. He might be something down the road. I don't know, but still not there with Max Christie. I'm going to have to wait and see more. I thought Dallas had better defense than that. And they did. They actually weren't playing too bad. They were getting some really good block shots. I think they blocked Vandu a couple times. I know that's not a hard gig. Who did Gafford block really well on that dunk? God, I think it was Reeves, wasn't it? No, it wasn't Reeves. It was I think it might have been Connect, or that might have been the Oklahoma City game. Who did Gafford block really well at the brim? I can't remember. If you guys remember, just post it and I'll get to you. But Dallas, played pretty tight first 3 quarters, and then they ran out of gas in the end there. Talent overwhelmed them. LeBron going to the basket, not being able to get stopped, overwhelmed them. They couldn't do anything else at that point. It went the way it was supposed to, honestly. Dallas had no business being in this game, and the only way they were going to win this game is if AD went 40 and 20. That was something I might have not have discussed before the game or during the game, but that was my feeling from that. And he had just gotten kind of sort of re-aggravated his injury a little bit. But he came back, and I just didn't think he was going to be effective as much today, and it turned out it was true. I like Max, but he's a spot-up shooter, not a shot creator. He might be better with the team with Luka on it. Somebody that can find him, right? That might be his best shot, but I don't think he's a spot-up shooter either. I don't think he has a consistent enough shot to do that. Dalton Connect does. Dalton Connect can be and will be a spot-up shooter. That will be his thing. As soon as he cleans up a little bit of his defense and understand the NBA game a little bit, because rookies are it's hard, man. It's hard to play in the NBA as a rookie in basketball, in the NBA especially. So once he gets himself comfortable where he's not thinking too much in how the offenses are running and the defense and the going under and going over screens and switching, like once that becomes something where he doesn't have to think about it, I think he's going to be a hell of a player. If we win Friday, we get to rest until the 19th. Yeah, that's a pretty big one. So we're looking at the 11th on Friday. 11th on Friday, which gives them a week. To rest, a little over a week. That's a hell of a stint, man. That's even better than a week off in the NFL. That's more like 2 weeks off in the NFL, getting yourself ready for the playoffs. AD looks washed. That was it, Jay. I was talking about you talking about what he was washed. He looked washed today. He looked washed mentally. He looked washed physically. How he turns out next year, because I think Dallas is going to lose to Golden State. Should it be Golden State at 7? Should it be Memphis at 7? Should it be Minnesota? Should it be Denver? However it plays out, I think they lose in the play-in, and then AD will have to get himself right and hope that they can muster something next year, because Kyrie's not going to be available till really probably, I would say, he won't really be effective next year at all. He got injured way too late, and even if he came back next February, I don't think it's going to be enough for them to compete for a title or even compete for anything if they were to make the playoffs. Let's see here. Where else are we here? Oh, you guys are commenting a lot here today. Gerald, what's up, brother? Sorry, I didn't send out the link, guys. I was working on some stuff. I'll get at you. I'll get at you next time. Houston is a bad matchup for GS. They are. They are a bad matchup. That's a good point, G. I guess we can analyze things. I was looking at the schedule. Tomorrow, Memphis plays Minnesota, and then everyone else plays Friday. If Memphis wins, let me look at the standings here real quick. I just pulled it up. Where are we here? I guess I just missed it. So if Memphis wins tomorrow, let's see here. They jump up. Do they have the tiebreaker in this? I think the Clippers have the tiebreaker against Memphis. So they don't move. They don't move out of the 6th seed. But I don't know if they have the tiebreaker against Denver. I think they do. But so if Memphis wins tomorrow, they're even with Denver and the Clippers at 48 and 32. And my guess is Denver, I think, has the tiebreaker against Memphis. I'm just taking a guess on that one. Let's see. Division right here. 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up to this real quick. Denver, yeah. Okay. So Friday, everyone plays. And we'll probably find out on Friday where everything really stands. And then Sunday will probably be just formalities. So I think that's how this is going to play out. My preference is playing the Clippers in the first round. I don't have anybody that is agreeing with me on that, by the way. I think I'm the only one that wants that. My only worry is healthy Kawhi. I'm not worried about a healthy Kawhi because there's no such thing. I'm going to have to see it. I want to see it. I want to see Kawhi be healthy before I am going to sit here and worry about Kawhi being healthy. Amin Thompson abuses Curry in their last meeting. Let me put it this way. Houston shouldn't lose to Golden State. But if it plays out that way, it plays out that way. Doesn't matter to me. I think the Lakers have a good shot at playing Houston or Golden State, either way. The only reason why I would love to play Golden State if they upset Houston as a 7th seed, if they stay where they're at, it's about the travel. I'm more fixated on the travel. I would prefer the Lakers playing Golden State and the Clippers in the first 2 rounds strictly for traveling purposes, because I think they'd be much more fresh before they end up playing the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. I don't believe Oklahoma will get upset in the first or second round. I don't believe that. I know it could happen, but I don't believe it's going to happen. I believe that the Lakers have a very good shot at making it to the Western Conference Finals to play Oklahoma City. The only thing I want is I would like them to lessen the workload as much as possible, because this team is still taxed and it doesn't have as much depth that I'd prefer. They had a legitimate starting center and maybe one more off the bench or starting perimeter player that could be a little bit more creative getting to the basket. Then at that point, I'd be comfortable with anybody at any time, anywhere. But they don't have that right now. They're going to have to wait till the summer to do that. So that's where I stand on that. We'll see how it plays out. Did the Lakers clinch their division? No, they're still a game behind. So they could end up losing the next 2 games, and the Clippers can win the next, I think, 3 games or whatever it is, and they could end up losing the division. The Lakers have to win Friday, and then they clinch everything. Lakers, G-Day. Mark, what's up, baby? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Let's see. That's not me. Thanks for the props. Thanks, Mark. Again, I know it's easier for you guys out or out down under. You guys are having normal hours right now, but 11 o'clock is kind of like, I feel like sometimes I'm like Conan O'Brien back in the day, although his show started at 11:30. But I try to get the 11 o'clock thing going. I know my boys are right after the game, and then you have Jeff kind of in between me and the boys at LFB. I want everybody to get their airtime. However, Gerald, if you're listening, I'm thinking about maybe doing a tail end to, like they had it before, where they had the Tonight Show and then they had Late Night Show with Conan O'Brien. Maybe I can do some shows where I'm following you right after, so I can bring the LFB crowd to the show. I'm thinking about maybe doing that. I'll let you know how that plays out. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello. Hello, hello. Kawhi is a smooth operator. Can't shuffle that under the rug. I don't know why that sounded like a song. I don't know why I wanted to sing that. That doesn't make any sense. Let's see here. Xbox was watching, searching. I was making sure you had everything under control. Yeah, Search is a beast, man. I don't know how many shows do you mod, Search. I have to, throw you something here for your time, man. I appreciate it. If Mavs make the play-in, this will be AD 4th straight year in the play-in. Yeah, that seems to. So his nickname is Street Clothes, right? I think that moniker should be to Kawhi Leonard. I know he's been better this year, but he was more in street clothes than anything else. Or you can make Joel Embiid Street Clothes. AD, he's never had a season-ending injury. He's always been available in the playoffs. But calling him play-in Davis, that sounds like it fits too well. Anthony play-in Davis. Yikes. JY, you might have hit on something there, man. Not in a positive way for AD, but in a positive way as far as creativity. That makes more sense than street clothes. Let's see here. More dialogue. Let me search. Let them rest until the 19th. No, absolutely. This is one of those things where this is a legitimate rest. This isn't about being soft or anything. These guys win on Friday, and I'm sure they'll be motivated. I'm sure this is going to play a motivating factor. If Houston does what they did today and not play their big guys on Friday, that would be nice. Although I think my thoughts are maybe they'd want them to play on Friday, because I don't think they want to take a week and a half off. I think that might be too long, and then they'll be going into the first round like with no rhythm at all. So I'm going to take a guess that they're going to play to win that game just to keep themselves fresh a little, and then maybe take off the last, I think, couple games, or I'm sorry, play the next game, because I think they have 3 games left. Play the next game and then maybe take the last game off. I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. The schedule got all weird towards the end. Like the Lakers have 2 games and everybody else has like 3 games. I want the Grizzlies. Jay, it seems like everybody wants the Grizzlies. That's a Laker fan. It makes sense. It does make sense. My only issue is the travel. My hope is that they can get that series done in 5, preferably in 4. But I don't think they're going to be able to I don't think they're going to be able to sweep the Grizzlies. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I don't generally care how this plays out. They got the 3. They're going to have home court. I don't really care. This is more just preference and just trying to get this thing as easy as possible the first couple rounds until those last 2 rounds. Those last 2 rounds, should they get through the first 2 rounds, are the most taxing rounds. And it's like one after another is really, really, really hard. It gets so much harder in those rounds. So the fresher they are, the more chance they have at winning those series. Because you can't get to the finals and lose, guys. I don't want them to get to the finals and lose. If they're going to get there, they got to win it. I'd rather them lose before they get to the finals. That's just how I look at it. Especially if it's the Celtics in there. That would be a killer loss either way. Even though they weren't supposed to be there, it still would kill me. Did they clinch the division? Yes. Not yet, Mark. They haven't clinched the division yet. They have to clinch it on Friday. Let's see. I'd say because they lost. Just what's going to look like 7-8 man. What's the Laker rotation going to look like? 7 or 8 man rotation. Likely, I think it's going to be 7 because that's usually what happens in the playoffs. So you're looking at Luka, you're looking at Jackson Hayes, you're looking at Rui, Reeves, and LeBron, and then you're going to have DFS and Gabe Vincent. That's pretty much what this is going to look like. And DFS will slide into the center position. You saw LeBron guarding AD a little bit today. There was a sequence in there where LeBron got that steal where he was guarding. He looked like he was playing like AD in 2020, where he was just free safetying everything, and then he was in Troy Polamalu speed too, and he got that steal. That was as good a defense as you could have seen LeBron play. I hadn't seen him play defense like that in a while. That's what made me feel like that he had his groin was feeling better. So very encouraging on how they played those sets. And this is the third game, guys. Just so you guys know, we talked about this on LFB a little bit, but this is both teams in all 3 games had their bigs they have a lot of bigs. Dallas has 3 bigs. Oklahoma City had 2 bigs, and the Lakers played those 3 games very well against those bigs. And if you think having bigs is going to be an advantage for against the Lakers, you're not watching NBA basketball in 2025, guys. It didn't look like it was working. If you're going to have a big that's going to really be a problem for the Lakers, for this team with Luka and LeBron, he has to be a defensive like juggernaut. And I don't know if there is one in the NBA. Triple J is good in Memphis. Gobert is known as this defensive juggernaut too, only in the regular season, but he doesn't intimidate anybody. I don't see him blocking shots left and right and really shutting down that lane. And even if he does shut out the lane, he gets spread out. So you're going to have a center that is going to be able to move like a prime Scottie Pippen or a Dennis Rodman that can get to the perimeter and get back to the paint quick and still cause havoc. There's not a lot of those players in the NBA if there are any. So I don't know. It's good for the Lakers though. Let's see, Jeff. Where's the Mac? And I was lied to. I'll get to you on that one, guys. I'll get to you on that one. Chris, what's up, brother? Good to see you here, man. Always. Oh, you do sure have the use today. Yeah. Whatever, Jeff. I don't even know if Jeff is still here. Probably went to bed. Guy has to have his 8 hours, apparently. See, oh my God, so funny. He found his lucky. No, Jeff. No. I don't need dogs. I don't need things. Props, I'll give you props on the props. I'll bring in the head. I'll bring in the mannequin head. And I'll have some fun with it. But I'm a soul ranger, baby. I'm a soul ranger. I'm married. I have children. I have a family. I have friends. But I'm solo ranger when it comes down to getting busy. Busy as in work. Get out of your dirty minds, guys. You guys are see. I already felt it when I said that. I could hear it. I could feel it. I'm a solo ranger. I do my own thing. Wilson, yeah, it's the first thing that came up when I started explaining it. Glorious, majestic king, Chris. I don't know if I'm going to be able to say that regularly. I will call him King James when he plays like a king. But I don't know if I'm going to go with majestic and glorious. Glorious is a good word, though. We win Friday. All the starters stay in L.A. and rest till the 19th. Yes, Serge, that is absolutely something that I believe should happen. Dante Exum broke his hand, then came back against the Lakers. I swear the Lakers can cure cancer. No, man, that's so true. But I don't even remember him playing. I don't remember him playing at all. Trayvon James, welcome, brother. Looking like it's going to be GS and LA. We thought that until Harrison Barnes dropped the 3-game winner on them. So I would wait. I would wait this out till maybe Sunday. But I think Friday will probably tell us if that's going to be something. Golden State falling to play in. The West goes 10 or 10, 11 deep compared to the East. Yeah, I would say, I don't know, man. I'm looking at the standings. Is anybody really worried about Minnesota? Seriously, like Minnesota, Memphis to a degree, Golden State. Some people are worried about the Clippers. Are you really worried about the Nuggets with their fiasco going on right now? Are you worried about the Rockets? Like, there's really no worry as far as a threat. Like, oh man, they're gonna have to kill themselves to play this team. Not even Oklahoma City is a team that you're worried about, at least with the Lakers. So I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see this play out. I don't know how the way to. I don't know any way to put it. I really don't. Vando has the slowest layups in the NBA. I don't even know. I don't understand. I still don't get. This guy's an athletic player. This isn't a 300-pound center who can't jump. I understand sometimes the big guys, the vertical kind of stops. It's just too much weight. But Vando is lean and mean and long. How the hell does this guy not dunk like a freaking beast when he's right under the rim? He's he. I feel like he thinks like the rim's gonna reject his dunk. Like I don't know why they haven't fixed this problem. It's obviously mental. Figure out a way to fix this, man. Put a broomstick there and just have him dunk on it nonstop. Dunk on it till you break the broom. Do something. You got to figure this out, dude. You're 6'8" with long arms, with Inspector Gadget arms. You should be able to dunk underneath the rim. Come on. Fix that, Vando. For the playoffs, especially. Let's see. Search says, bro, welcome 500 push-ups. Who did 500 push-ups? Shit, I don't even know what would happen to my shoulder if I did 500 push-ups. Probably dead. Where are we here? A lot of congratulations. Thank you, everyone. Please share and like and subscribe. JY, can Dalton be better version of Mike Miller and Chandler Parsons? Keith Van Horn, those are the comps. Ooh. I think he's a better shooter than Keith Van Horn. Keith Van Horn is a better basketball player than him. I don't think he'll be a better basketball player than Van Horn unless his trajectory goes somewhere because of his work ethic. There's a chance if, like, let's say he ends up being a really good defender and he's good at getting to spots and getting the ball because Luka's going to be there, right? There's a possibility, but I think Keith Van Horn is a better basketball player than I think Keith Van Horn is a better basketball player than what Connect will be. He's definitely got a chance to be better than Parsons, and then I don't know if he can be better than Mike Miller. That's TBA at this point. TBA at this point. Mike Miller was a rookie of the year in probably the worst draft I've ever seen in 2000. The Kenyon Martin first overall draft in 2000, and then you had Mike Miller, and then I think what was it, Michael Redd? I think Michael Redd. Michael Redd was a second-round pick. I can't remember where Mike Miller was picked. I think it was a lottery pick. But imagine this, guys. Imagine this. That draft was so bad that you have an argument that Michael Redd picked in the second round could be, if you to redo that draft, you could see Michael Redd as the second overall pick. Michael Redd was on an Olympic team. He was a damn good shooter, damn good player. Imagine that, a second round pick. If you were to redo that draft, there's an argument that he could be second overall. That is nuts. That's how bad that draft was. See, search. If we had a decent center, I might say we winning the chip. Yes, I agree. If the Lakers had, let's say Gafford, maybe. What if they had Gafford? might have a really good. I would feel comfortable with that, especially with Luka, Gafford, somebody like Gafford, and I think I'd feel pretty confident that they'd be. Yeah, man, they can make a run here. Shay, what's up, brother? LeBron to AD, you owe me a ring. Do help us win tonight, bro. You still owe me a ring. Do help us win tonight, bro. Owe me a ring. I don't understand. I don't know what that means. AD did get him a ring, or help him get him a ring. Did he mean that he needs to get him a ring? As in, I don't even know what that means. Make it make sense, guys. I don't know what that means. Yes, Joe, they win and rest everyone. Yes, this is an important rest for sure. If they can win it, absolutely on Friday. Kawhi will probably find a way to be injured during the playoffs again. Yeah, Che, I will believe that he'll stay healthy when I see him stay healthy for a playoff run. Not first round, not second round, and then dying. The whole thing. Then I'll be scared. Zubac first triple double tonight. Well, he was due, man. Props to Zubac. Excellent player. Another one of those gems that the Lakers found late in the second round. It's too bad that he wasn't able to build his career with the Lakers. Such a probably the worst trade the Lakers have ever had, by the way, in terms of sending somebody out. That was probably one of the worst ones. Clips coming in. I'm a bit worried. Yeah, Gerald. I don't know. Is Gerald worried? I think Jeff is giving props to the Clippers in terms of them being maybe a problem. I don't know if he's afraid of them though. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of any team. I'm just afraid of the Lakers not being at full tilt in the entire playoffs. That's all I'm worried about with the Lakers. If the Lakers are fully healthy and they aren't burnt out, I am very confident that they have a chance to do something. They have a chance to do something. Lakers bench scored a measly 11 points. Well, what do you want him to do, man? Luka had 45. LeBron had 27. So what is that? 72 points from two players? I mean, who do you want to score off the bench? 72 points was done by two guys. I think it's one of those games where it really didn't matter, guys. The starters were in control of this game, and it should be. It should have been. Starters always play better on the road, anyways. Mike, what's up, man? Ooh, to you. Ooh. Lakers still better than the Clippers. Yes, absolutely. I have no doubt that if the Lakers play the Clippers, barring injury, they will whoop them. Kawhi is damn good, but yes, blah, blah, blah. NBC O'Brien. Yes, NBC O'Brien. That's. I would love to tailor my show around something like that. I have immense respect for Conan O'Brien, one of the best. Let's see here. I speak the truth. Welcome here, brother. I don't know if this. I think you've been here on the show before, but if not, welcome. I'm jealous of Boston. I got it made in the conference finals, while everyone in the West have no idea who will make it to the conference finals. That's just how the East is, though. It's truth. I don't know. They've been competitive and going deep in the playoffs for a while now. We'll see how that plays out in the East. They should be a finals participant. They should, because Cleveland's a young team. I don't know how they're going to be able to handle the pressure of if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I'm going to wait for that again to play out. I don't know how this is going to play out. I really don't. I was very encouraged at how the Lakers played against Boston this year, even without Luka. And then when Luka was playing in that Boston game in Boston, if LeBron doesn't get hurt, I think the result might have been different. Luka brought that team back. They were down only 4. They missed a couple shots towards the end. Otherwise, it would have been. It might have been a way where the Lakers might have been able to get through it. But I don't see the Celtics. The fear with the Celtics is if they start hitting shots and they don't miss, that's their thing. That's their thing. If they start hitting shots and not missing, on top of the fact that they're playing tight D, then yeah, Yeah, that's going to be a problem. But they can't go playing tight D and not hitting those shots regularly. Can't go in the. I don't think they can go 13 of 45 and win if they face a really good team in the finals, especially a veteran team like the Lakers. They will exploit that. Kyrie Irving is not LeBron James. Even a year later, he's not LeBron James. If Luka's dropping 30 in the finals and they're trying to exploit Luka, let's say, they still have to deal with LeBron. I don't know if they're going to be able to have that much energy. They completely shut down Kyrie in that entire series. He was non-existent. I didn't even know he was playing in 2 of the games. That last game where they got beaten 5, I didn't even remember him playing in game 5. He was spent. He was done. You're not going to get that with LeBron. You're not going to get that with LeBron. LeBron will be a problem. You're going to have to deal with LeBron in that scenario. And LeBron, loves to play the Celtics. And after 08, he's owned them. So, be a hell of a series, though. Be a hell of a story. Something the NBA would definitely want. But even if Cleveland upsets, which they'd be the first seed, which they'd sort of be maybe the favorites. But let's say Cleveland ascends early, right? And get to the finals, and the Lakers are able to get to the finals. That's a hell of a story, too. That would be a hell of a story, too. LeBron playing his former team, the team that he brought a championship to, the sole championship. The fact that he's already beaten Miami in the finals, so he beats his former team. And, I mean, LeBron, this is his 7th season with the Lakers, right? So it's what? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 7th season. He's contracted to play 8 next year, right? If they win it this year, he'll probably extend it 1 more year. So he could end up playing 9 years in LA. He played 10 years in Cleveland. I mean, 1 year is not that much of a difference, right? 4 years in. Wait, hold on. He played 24 years, wouldn't he? My math is all off right now. Oh no, he played 11 years in Cleveland, right? Hold on. Sorry guys, I'm thinking right now. 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 15. Yeah, 11. Sorry. So 11 years in Cleveland. 11 years in Cleveland. And then he would finish, if he was to extend 1 more year and retire, let's say 2027, he'd be with the Lakers 9 years. 9 years, yeah. 9 years. Would it be 9 years? Yeah, 9 years. Is he known for a Cavs still first or a Laker, especially if he wins, let's say, 1 more title? Because he would have doubled up his titles in LA as opposed to Cleveland, right? Something to think about. Something to think about. Doesn't matter, but just kind of fun dialogue, right? Let's see here. Mike, let's see. Do him a favor and just buy the... I don't want to buy that. Craig, what's up, brother? What's up, buddy? Man, Craig has been with us practically all day. Craig, it's been fun, man. We really enjoy having you on playback for the Dodger games, man. I hope you continue to be with us. Loyal as loyal can get, man. Thanks, Craig. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of slow on the chats here. I'll catch up to everything here before I head out. If Minnesota gets to AC, they can upset OKC in the first round. They split the season series, Joe. I guess anything's possible, but I doubt it. I doubt Minnesota will. Gobert is not good in the playoffs, and he's not good when he's not playing against somebody that's kind of his constituent down low. And it's going to be even worse with Oklahoma City. I think Oklahoma City wins that series either in a sweep or in 5. La Center isn't. La Center, that's funny. Joe, what's your Mount Rushmore Steelers? Oh man, that's a tough one, man. Oof. Mount Rushmore is going to be 4 guys. It's going to be for sure Mean Joe Green. Terry Bradshaw. Jack Lambert. And Ernie Stotner. That Ernie Stotner one is a hard one because if it wasn't Ernie, it would be Troy Polamalu. But Ernie Stotner, along with I think Joe, I think it's Joe Green. Only Joe Green and Ernie Stotner have their jerseys retired by the Steelers. I think there's another one I forgot. Ernie Stotner is an older player that a lot of people don't know, but he was the Steeler back when the Steelers were trash. Steelers were horrible between 1933 and essentially 1972 during the Immaculate Reception year. They were bad from their inception in 1933 all the way up until 1972. They were terrible. So Ernie Stotner played a lot of bad teams, but he was the Steeler. So yeah, that would be my Mount Rushmore. That would be it. LeBron goes for 4-6 to 4-7 in the finals. I never want to hear go talk from him ever again. Truth, I don't know necessarily if that would be fair. We're talking about a guy that's playing his 22nd season, man. And this you can use that as an excuse on this one. This one is there's a lot of stuff that happened this year, man. And you're talking about let's say if the Celtics make it, you're talking about a team that's young still. There's some older players on there, but that's the nucleus of that team is young. The stars, the two-way stars on that team are very young and they're very, very determined. They're good teammates. The front office is amazing. The coaching is amazing. That team is run very well. The only reason why we don't like them is because they're wearing Celtic gear. They weren't wearing Celtic gear. I would be very fond of them, really. And I still am. Just I don't want the Celtics to win. But LeBron and the GOAT argument to me is it's gotten to the point where it really has become a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I had my little spout with John because it was entertainment. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag here. That was purely entertainment. It's a useless argument. It really is. And I'm not changing my stance on who the best is. I saw Michael play, and I've never seen anyone play basketball with zero weaknesses. Michael had no weaknesses. I'm not. Someone brought up, oh well, he had a low 3-point percentage. I go, they didn't shoot threes in the 90s. It didn't matter in the 90s. That's like saying, what would be a good example now? Shoot, I got to figure that one out. What would be the equivalent of not shooting threes back then now with the current culture of basketball? That'd be like saying, it's kind of like saying, well, he's a good mid-range shooter. Something like that. When you look at DeMar DeRozan, right? What is his effectiveness shooting mid-range shots? He's a mid-range shooter, right? Doesn't shoot threes well. Well, in today's game, it's a detriment. But if he had been playing in the 90s, it would have been an asset. Even before then, the mid-range was a big weapon. But now it's not. So it's kind of like the opposite. Okay, so what if you're good at shooting the mid-range? It's not going to mean you're going to win. So for Michael back in the 90s, shooting threes wasn't like the thing. You had specialists that did that. You had the Del Currys. You had the Dale Ellises. You had Reggie, who was kind of one of the few stars that shot from three. He was like Bird, right? Bird was a star that shot threes. And even Bird, I think he averaged like 3 or 4 shots a game from three. I think it was 3 shots a game. He barely shot the three. So it's different. It's different. I'm not, you got to understand. And that's where that kind of hits the wall, where you don't understand the culture. You don't understand the league at that point. It was different. Now, if you think that Michael wouldn't have adapted, see, this is the other thing too. Vice versa. If you think that LeBron wouldn't have adapted to the 90s if he was born in the 70s, then you're not being realistic. I look at it that way. I don't look at it like you're teleporting LeBron now and playing in the 90s. That's stupid. That's dumb. But if Michael is playing in this era with those skills growing up now, who's to say he wouldn't be Steph Curry? Michael did anything he wanted. If Michael wanted to shoot 6 threes in the finals, he did it. If he wanted to dunk all over you, he did it. If he wanted to take the ball away from you in crucial moments, he did it. You don't believe me? Go watch the 98 finals, game 6. Stockton hits a 3. They're up 2. They're up 3. Under a minute left. Michael gets the ball in the off the inbound, gets to the basket, makes a layup. The Jazz have the ball, complete control. They get the ball down low to Karl Malone. Here comes Michael on the weak side, steals the ball. Waits. Makes Brian Russell go to the right. He goes to the left. Hits the shot. Game over. The guy was number one, and he always will be number one, at least for me. Aaron was, Red was a second rounder. Yeah, Michael Red was a second rounder, and you can say after the fact that he could have been picked second in that draft after the quality players that were in that draft. Let's see here. Joe appreciates everyone's opinions. Yes, I do, Search. Yes, I do, even if they're buffoons. Don't mean to change the subject, but I'm glad the Dodgers didn't get swept by the Nationals. So thanks for bringing that up here, JY. I needed to segue into the Dodger thing because this is a Laker-Dodger show tonight. The Dodgers play tonight the way they've been pretty much playing the whole year up until or minus what happened the last couple of games and with the Nationals. And, you know, Landon Mack is just not a reliable starter. He is regressing. He's not progressing, unfortunately. He's got the heart. I know, he shows that he wants it, but he's just not. He's just not good enough at this point. I don't know if it'll ever work. I don't know. I don't know if he'll switch over to a relief pitcher type guy, a middle pitcher guy where he just eat up innings. Let's say if there's a game and there's a few games during the year where we get shellacked the first couple innings, and then you put it in Knack so you can save your bullpen for the next night, whatever. I think that's ultimately what his benefit will be unless something drastically changes. I don't know. Wasn't very happy when I found out Knack was pitching today. I really wasn't. But they didn't have a choice. Snell was injured, so it is what it is. Cubs in trouble. I know the Cubs are playing well, and I know we're going to have our good pitchers pitching here. I'm looking forward to the Roki game. I'm looking forward to that. Yamamoto, I think, is going to be fine on Friday, but I'm looking forward to Saturday. I've been contemplating whether I'd go to that game too, but I don't know what my schedule looks like right now. Not putting Jack Lambert in that group would be a travesty. Jack Lambert, in a lot of ways, was the engine. Joe Green was the vehicle, but Jack Lambert was the engine. So, yeah, that's something I can definitely feel comfortable in rolling with. The Steelers could have their own Mount Rushmore for the NFL. That's how much talent has come out of Pittsburgh since the 70s through now. Pretty amazing run the last 50 years. 6 Super Bowls, countless Hall of Famers, and some of the best football that I've ever seen in my life, at least in my time. Let's see. Jordan's weaknesses were Celtics and Pistons. Playing the Celtics early on in his career, those teams weren't really developed yet, Craig. You're talking about the Celtics at their peak while Jordan was part of a rebuild. He was the first of the rebuild. Dropping 69 in the Garden, getting DJ in foul trouble within the first few minutes. Jordan was on him. Danny Ainge was on him. No one could stop Michael Jordan. It was Michael Jordan and the Coke Factory. You guys watched The Last Dance, right? It was Michael Jordan, the Coke Factory. Michael was coming into his own still team wise, but as far as talent, guys, he was smoking arguably the best team in that decade, and that was the 86 Celtics. That team lost one game at home that whole year, and he was giving them the business. Larry Bird said it best. That wasn't Michael Jordan, but that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. When you get that kind of compliment from Larry Bird after he just waxed you at home, and he actually had back-to-back games where he beat him up pretty good. I think he had 40 something in the game before he scored 69. So just saying. As far as the Pistons are concerned, watch the 1990 Eastern Conference Finals Game 7. Pippen, actually, you guys watched The Last Dance. I think you might have seen it anyways. Pippen got a migraine and pretty much took him out of that series. So I would say if you had an argument on Pippen being a valuable, that would have been probably the game that they really needed him. But once Pippen got right, and before he kind of went rogue against Jordan, and I kind of know why he did. I'm not going to talk about that now because I still want to finish off the evening with the Dodgers. I'll talk about that at another time. Before he went rogue on Jordan, Pippen before was a huge supporter of Jordan, helping him become a better basketball player mentally, because Pippen did have mental lapses. He's not a very strongly mentally type guy. And he did become that guy the following year. And Michael was a big part of that. Phil Jackson was a big part of that. And I think once these things come together, especially from a team standpoint, then everything starts to flow. And when you start tasting the wins, especially in basketball, you usually at that time it became a consistent thing. A lot of repeat teams after the 87-88 Lakers. Pistons repeated after that, won back-to-back. The Bulls went three-peat, then followed by the Houston Rockets. They repeated back-to-back in 94-95. The Bulls three-peated again. And then there was that gap in that strike year in 99. The Spurs won, but then the Lakers came back and three-peated then. So, yeah, again, it's getting over that hump, and it's a team game still at the end. And once they get over the hump, then it's very difficult to take them off. At least back then it was. Jordan had no weaknesses in the 90s, bro, when the game went global. Facts, Craig. Yes, I agree with that 100%. I'm going to go down the list here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm almost to the end here. LeBron is God, but not sure a Laker God. I'm going to say, what is no Alex? What is no Alex? Search. Swat at it and steal it. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. What's going on here? Are you talking about the game? Hold on, let me get to this. What game are you talking about? Are you talking about the finals game? I think you are. I got confused. It's getting late, man. See, my brain is starting to turn into mush. You're talking about the old game, man. I was thinking about right now. Kobe was our last god. Deal with it. I mean, I can't really argue that either. That guy encompassed everything that the Lakers were about and what people wanted someone in terms of a leader to be. So props to you on that one for sure. Ohtani is the next god of LA. Not going to argue against that either. Ohtani is legit, but it's nice having Luka there too. Something might be brewing there as well. Bird schooled Jordan, no doubt. I don't think Bird ever schooled Jordan. I think his team was able to maintain what they needed to maintain against those Bulls teams because they weren't as talented. But I don't think any Celtic schooled Jordan. They schooled the team, but they never schooled Jordan. I still love Jordan and Bird horse commercials. Yeah, those McDonald commercials were number one, man. I still remember them. Over the asteroid belt, through the hole of Jupiter, off of Pluto. Aaron, I love your stuff, man. I love the stuff you bring up. You bring up so many good memories. Thank you all for the great comments. Yes, absolutely. Great sports fans, Joe. Yes, they are. I was reciting Bob Costas from '98. Yeah, I'm sorry, I screwed that one up, Aaron. I should have just shut up. How about that? Joe, great stuff, my brother. I got you. Yeah, man. Finally got that down to the bottom here. The Dodgers. I was talking about this with Jeff and a few other people. Like I'm so invested into this year for the Dodgers. I have to scale back. I had to scale back a little bit. Like it was getting ridiculous in my head after yesterday. I was like, man, why can't these guys pitch? Why can't they do this? Why can't I'm like, okay, hold on. Even though I'm probably right, I'm like, all right, I gotta relax. There's a lot of games left. Plus, the Dodgers are still 10-4, so they're on pace to win 115 games right now. So gotta relax, and I will. They have a nice little break here. They're gonna have a home stand here with the Cubs. Should be a fun one. Weather's gonna be good. I'm going to try to see if I can make a game, maybe Saturday's game, to go see Roki. But either way, I will, be talking about the game this weekend on the show. We'll see how it plays out time-wise. I know the Laker game will be on Friday. I'm going to try to maybe follow LFB on Friday. I have to see how things play out. I'm going to try to do that more so we can transition from LFB to my show and kind of give it a little bit more of an edge as opposed to LFB, although the edge on LFB is pretty edgy. But I'm going to bring some different things here on the show. Dodgers, I think Dodgers are in a good place right now. Winning today was nice. You get a little bit of more testing on having to deal with a team that's playing above their heads and kind of irritating you, which is what the Nationals did this week. But other than that, I thought Teo is on a tear. He's racking up those RBIs. Thank God. Otani's doing his thing, stealing bases. He's doing something at some point every day, right? He's either getting walks, he's either getting singles, either he's hitting home runs, or he's stealing bases. The GOAT is doing what GOAT things do, and he isn't even revved up yet. Wait till he revs up. Usually he starts a little slow at the beginning, kind of like Blake Snell. But when he gets going, when he starts hitting home runs every other game, watch out. And we're looking forward to Freddie coming back on Friday as well. So, Majestic King gets statue in front of Crypto Arena. Oh, yeah. LeBron's getting a statue, even if he doesn't win another championship. If he wins this year or next year, it's 99.9% now, but it's 100% if he wins another title. It was weird seeing Kirby give up runs in Philly and Vesia giving up that grand slam. It's not his fault, man. Vesia giving up that grand slam. He had three guys. You can't bringing in a relief pitcher, especially a guy like Vesia who's pumped up with that much juice on the bases is not. That's a recipe for disaster. Kirby giving up the runs was a surprise, but how he responded to it wasn't a surprise. They're not going to go a whole year not giving up a run or runs or a home run typically. Tanner Scott proved that, right? Tanner Scott had a horrible couple of stints at the beginning of the year. Then all of a sudden he's closing out games or closing out innings, pitching 3 pitches or just mowing guys down like he did today. The one who's struggling right now, I'd say that I'm kind of hesitant on right now, and might be just, the jitters or just might be kind of dealing with maybe some things, is Blake Triton. But he still got through it today, so thank God for that. But our boys are still beasts, absolutely. God bless all wild times. Good show. Good night, guys. Yes, Mark, thank you very much, my brother. Looking forward to seeing you more here in the next few days. Bless all. Thank you for the great comments. Very insightful. Thank you. Yeah. So it was a great evening, a great afternoon. It's great to see games early, at least for me, because you get a chance to see all the post-game shows and, of course, our show here. And we get to enjoy the wins. Wins are such a good thing. It's such a good thing in terms of the attitudes and how we kind of present ourselves, although the losses kind of bring out some of the good theatrics. And people love that as well. We had over 100 people watching yesterday, and we only got to, I think, 80 on LFB today. I guess people like to see the drama more when they lose versus the wins. We got to flip that around, man. At some point, this has got to change. So, with that, I am going to shut down for the night. I want to thank Search for doing his mod fathering. Thank you so much, my brother. Looking forward to do many, many, many of these um, in the future. I want to thank all the guys from across the world, across the country, for the guys that are in here locally. Uh, you guys are watching in all phases, time zones, and time slots. And I really, really do appreciate it. We're a small channel here. We're going to continue to build. Please tell your friends. Please share. Please like. Please subscribe. In terms of their benefit, and we'll get this thing going. We'll make this thing really, really good for everyone down the road. I really feel that there's going to be some good things coming. Craig, thank you for reminding me. Tomorrow is NFL Day. I have a very busy schedule tomorrow, but I may have something going on during the draft. I may have something. I will set up. Put your notifications on. I might put something together where I might be on while the draft is going on. So, and I'll probably have some guests with me. So until then, have a fabulous day. Have a fabulous afternoon. Have a fabulous evening wherever you are. And until next time, I will see you next time.